Hello and welcome to the Daily Moth. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend, and today is Monday, and that's awesome because you know why? Moths, they just love Mondays. Last night there was a post of an ASL music video, and I was really enjoyed watching. It was a lot of fun, and good job to Julia because she did an awesome job with her skill and her sign production. And thank you to Dexter. He helped as assistant crew on that shoot. If you guys haven't watched it, you guys can go onto Facebook or go to YouTube and check it out. America's Next Top Model, if you guys have been watching, you guys can see Niall, but you guys also can see a contestant named Bello, and he has dark hair and he's really blue eyes, and he tends to have attitude. This morning, about 3 in the morning, he was in a bad car accident. He's still alive, but he was at a party, and he dropped off his friend at 3 in the morning. He got really tired, and his car started to veer off the road, and he hit another car, and he did not have a seatbelt, and his head hit the windshield. He has a really bad scrape on his arm and in his face, so they went ahead and admitted him into the hospital, and he's been asleep, and he's in a deep coma right now, so from his accident. There was a really bad earthquake in Afghanistan, about the northeastern region. Over 200 people died. Some reported that 12 girls, they were in a school. A lot of people were scared, and so there was a stampede, and the girls died in that. Over 1,000 houses were destroyed because of the big earthquake and the shake from it. It's like a lot of people, when they were driving a lot of cars, they could feel the earthquake, and so they got in a lot of car accidents. A lot of the areas tend to have a lot of earthquakes, and people couldn't contact each other because there was no cell phone service, and the reception was down. There's probably more deaths because of that, and a lot of destruction. And a lot of earthquakes really happened in that area. Awful what happened in 2005. 75,000 people died in that earthquake in 2005. It was a big earthquake. Could you guys imagine if the buildings here in America were not up to par, they weren't really regulated, and the size weren't right, and they were stone or clay buildings, and there was an earthquake, those buildings definitely would collapse. Next, over in the British Columbia, over in Canada, there was a boat. It was about 75 feet long, and people were looking. Tourists were taking pictures, and the boat, it just all of a sudden just sank, and it started to sink. It was 55 degrees in the water, and 5 people died. Four people went into the hospital, and they're still searching for that one missing person. And the people were like, how did that happen? How did the boat sink? And it seems like the boat must have hit a rock, and the boat caved, and it just sunk. A lot of people get hypothermia in that water, so I'm sure that person's not alive. Last Saturday, what happened in Oklahoma, the Oklahoma University, they're having a homecoming parade, and a disaster happened. One woman, she was 25 years old, she drove through the parade, and the police were after her, and a lot of people got hit because of the woman. You could see people just flying up in the air. 4 people, unfortunately, died. 75 people were hurt. 17 were put in the hospital, and 4 of people are in serious critical condition. Sadly, the woman was 25 years old, and they don't know if she was drunk or not. Her lawyer doesn't even know, and basically they realized that she had a mental health issue. She had not yet slept for 3 days prior to the accident. They really weren't sure why she was going ahead and driving and why she drove through the parade. The police find her with second-degree murder. It's awful to see that happen. What does a small loan kind of mean to you? So what if I asked you that? What do you guys envision? Would you guys envision maybe 5,000, 10,000? That's kind of a small loan, right? But no, to Donald Trump, his vision of a small loan, like he recently talked about, and how he basically became the man he is today, it's because his father gave him a small loan. His father paid him $1 million. Basically gave him that. That's how his greedy selfishness kind of developed, and that's how he earned all of his money. What a privilege. That's what basically privileged life looks like. Could you imagine if your father had $1 million or more than that? And you just asked your dad if you could have the $1 million? And that's your world's small loan. It's interesting because he is our leading representative to become president of the United States. So if Trump becomes president of the United States, maybe he asks for a small loan. How does that sound to you guys? Now it's for Deaf News, and we had an interview with Jules. herself is, she's deaf and she's the movie director and she films a lot of ASL music videos. And her first ASL music video was Hot and Cold with Amber Zink. See right here. That she's made a lot of music videos since that music video. And you can see it on her website at julesdemarcus.com. She has a really cool website and she has a lot of movies since then. You can see more music videos that she's partnered with Adrian. She also partnered with DPAM for their ATT competition. So it feels like basically music to encourage deaf people to make their own music videos. Basically, it's kind of different colors so they can walk on the moon. And they filmed that in a subway in New York. And some people in that video shoot, they were involved in Spring Awakening. That's a Broadway production. And some of you guys I know have seen it. And some of you guys have already seen the clip. But here's a little clip. It's really cool. Let's look behind the scenes now. Take a look. Could you guys imagine filming that in a subway bus? Now we're going to have the interview with Jules. Take a look. Seems like with that video, you were able to shoot the whole film with one shot. How did you guys successfully accomplish that? Well, all of our performers, they have all been in 2 music videos. I've done 2 different types of techniques, and they all were deaf actors. And we had, really, honestly, the whole crew was deaf. And I'd worked with both Kathleen. She is director of ASL, and she's also really good at music videos and timing of music. So she memorized all the music, and she basically became the musical lead for all the performers. And it really got to the point where the performers knew every step. And once they learned and they were able to internalize the counts, then everything just flowed together. It's kind of like dancing or the choreography of something, everything included with that. So that's how we really just meshed the whole music video together, and the timing became really well. Honestly, that's my favorite technique to use, is just one shot, because the performers, they really do their best. And they're able to really feed off each other, because performers, they perform better together. If you just shoot one performer alone, they have no one to answer to, you know what I mean? So one of the lines is "bite the bullet," and you guys signed that. How did you guys decide to pick that sign for that concept? How did that whole process work? Well, that sign for the phrase "bite the bullet." It's really interesting how we came up with that. Well, really, again, it's all Kathleen Aluziano. That's her last name. It's all her. Director of ASL. She was responsible for the translation part, and really, she did all the work, honestly.